Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this review is for the movie called Saving Brinton. Saving Brinton. Okay. In a farmhouse basement on the Iowa countryside, eccentric collector Michael Zoss makes a remarkable discovery: the showreels of the man who brought moving pictures to America's heartland. Among the treasures are rare footage of President Teddy Roosevelt, the first moving images from Palestine, a lost relic from magical effects godfather Georges Méliès. These are the films that introduced movies to the world. The old nitrate reels are just some of the artifacts that belong to William Franklin Brinton. From his handwritten journals, ephemera, posters, and catalogs emerges the story of an inventive farm boy who became America's greatest barnstorming movie man. As Michael uncovers this hidden legacy, he begins a journey to restore the Brinton name that takes us around the world and back for a big screen extravaganza in the same small town movie theater where Frank first turned on a projector over a century ago. This is a 2018 movie. It runs 87 minutes, and it doesn't really have a rating because it's no rating. So the cool thing about this is just from the library and everything. This is all about, to summarize, this is all about this guy in Iowa that clears out his barn after his parents, kind of give the house to him, and he goes out into this barn, and there's in this room of the house, and there's just these old films, and instead of throwing them away, they look into them and they become world famous. So in here, there's actually another disc that has a bunch of the silent films and a music featurette. I don't think I'm going to watch that because I'm sure it's mostly in the film itself. And it actually does have narration from Michael Zoss, the guy in the movie, and 2 rediscovered lost films from this Méliès. So there's a lot to this. It's not just the 87 minutes. If you are really into it, you could watch the whole thing. And you could watch all this other stuff. I guess there's over 100 minutes of preserved film. So, just kind of interesting. And about 10 minutes into this, I wasn't going to watch it. But it really is interesting. And I stayed with it the whole time. So, I wanted to do this review to let you know that if you have the desire to see something that is about history, and it's about preserving, things, then I think this is totally worth watching. It's very relevant. I grew up in Iowa. I know things in Iowa are very, we kind of live off of our history and everything. But this guy had to go to the University of Iowa. He had to go to art institutes and film preservation places. I mean, he really goes all out. And that's what this 87-minute thing is about. So, it's interesting enough and everything. And the films that he does end up, having people preserve and they become world famous and everything, they're really cool. And they are enough throughout the 87 minutes to really keep you interested and to make you go, wow, this is really actually kind of cool and interesting, and how just unique this thing really is. And the people along the way, I mean, this is a documentary and they're not famous actors or anything. So they're just talking and they're just saying things. So it's just kind of laid back and everything. But it was enough of an actual movie to keep me interested where I watched the whole thing. So that's why I'm letting you know about it. I would say the story of him and the things he kind of is doing along the way. It's nice, I mean, it shows him having lunch and going to talk with some elementary kids and going to share some of his stuff with an office full of people who don't seem that interested at the moment. But it kind of shows that, he was fortunate enough to find this stuff. It's not like he's taking all the joy and praise, just heaping on him and he thinks he deserves it. He just kind of goes along for the ride and he really is interesting in finding out what he can find out about as an actual collector and doing what he can do to find out what this treasure really is. He didn't just like hand it over or just sell it or anything either. So it's kind of a nice little journey movie. The thing I was going to compare this to, if anybody has seen it, is called Hugo. And I really did like that movie. That's a real movie. But it's kind of like this. It talks about an old movie being preserved. It talks about some people being involved. But that makes it more of a Disney adventure with this kid and his struggle of living day to day. This one is just about a regular old guy from Iowa and his adventure of finding out what the movie is all about. So, I mean, I kind of, am not ever going to tell anybody this is a real movie because it does have that documentary feel the whole time. But I think it's worth a watch. I think it's worth educating yourself about the name Brinton, if you at least look it up online or something, and maybe you can watch some of their old videos on YouTube or something. I don't know. But, I mean, it's just kind of amazing, that this is, he keeps throwing out dates of 1890 and 1901 and 1911. And, I mean, this is some old stuff that they're talking about. It's kind of really interesting. So, some of the things that he brings out for the elementary children in his class, that stuff's interesting too. So, it's not just about the movies. It turns out not to be. So, it's nothing really exciting about it, but I thought it was worth my time, and I think it might be worth your time if you can find it. You want to look up. You just want to look up the name Brinton. Yeah, I mean, there's just kind of interesting. So, thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this video or any of my other video reviews, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Just for naming a grade for this, even though I usually don't grade documentaries, but I sat through the whole thing, I'll give it a C-. C- for Segment Britain. Thanks again, and enjoy movies, guys. Thanks.